Hi, I'm Roger, and welcome back to making your own 11 ball video arcade game. Previously, we did the graphics where we drew the background, we put the balls on the table, we set up a location array so we know where to put the balls on the table. And now all we have to do, not all we have to do, but now what we're going to do is actually create a selection of balls, shuffle them, and then put them on the table. Now, if you remember this picture I saw earlier during the introduction or part 2, I can't remember, but this one is just perfect for us. It shows the exact number of balls of each type. If you look carefully, you got like two tens, so a total of 4 tens, 4 fives, 4 eights. There's 4 of every ball except for the 1. There's 16 1 balls. So now we know how the deck per se is laid out. So we got 52 balls, 4 of each type, except the 1 ball we have 16. So now we can start working on that. But before that, let's do a little housekeeping. If we go down here to, remember where we randomly just put some balls in to help us do our alignment. Let's set this down to this just 12 balls and run it. And you see what happens. It draws the 12 balls plus the rack ball, but it's putting the selection graphic up. And that's because down here on our ball images, when we draw a ball image, if it's a 0, it's going to draw the selection graphic, because I chose to use that empty spot for the selection. But we don't really need to be drawing the ball anyways if it's not there, so let's kind of correct this. So if ptable I dot ball number does not equal 0, then we're going to draw the ball. Whoops, there we go. Now we also, so let's just run it again. Whoops. Oh, I forgot my 0. Okay, now if there's no ball at that location, which there isn't because I only put 12 there, then it won't draw anything. But we also wanted to draw the selected graphic if it is, so we should say if ptable dot I dot dot selected. In other words, if it is selected will be true, then we need to draw the selection image. So g dot draw image, and the ball image we want to draw, of course, is 0 because that's a selection image, and we want to draw it at that location of that ball. So we run it again, nothing should happen because no ball is selected. But now let's go down here in our little temporary load thing, and let's just say ptable, and let's say 10 dot selected equal true, and ptable 11 dot selected is true. So basically I've put in that I picked 2 balls, and now if we look, there they are. That one and that one are selected. And while we're doing a little housekeeping, let's go up here to where we see the draw game. We don't really need to draw the game on the start round. I mean on the start game. We're going to do it in the start round. And let's go ahead and get rid of this. So we're going to be basically, we need an array to hold the 52 balls originally. So let's go up here and dim on an array. Let's just call it balls. Well, you know what? Let's just call it deck. And there's 52 of them, but we're going to use 0 to 51. So we'll say 51, which is actually 52. All right. And then we need to go down here and create another sub. Whoops. Load the deck. Now remember, we need, so we'll say 4 I equal 1 2. Well, now we'll start at 0. Sorry, 0 to 15. Deck dot location I is equal to a 1. So we're going to put 15 ones in there. And for I equals 2 to 10, for I equal 1 2 4, because we want 4 B's. We want 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, 4 10s. So deck dot, we're going to need a pointer. So let me go back up here. And it's going to start off at 16. Our pointer is going to be equal to I. That way it's going to go through this loop 4 times. Oh, I need to make that I. It's going to go through this loop 4 times, each time for every number here. So it'll hit the 2, go through 4 times. So we'll have 4 2s. Now we need to increase our pointer. So we increase our pointer by 1. So it's going to start off at, it's at 15. It's going to start off at 16. Then next time 17, 18. And so now basically we're going to end up with a deck. Initially it'll have 16 ones, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s. And that's what we got. Now if we can double check that at the end. Let's just do for I equal 0 to 51. Debug.print deck I. And let's go ahead and debug.print start. Now we need to go ahead and load our deck up here in our form load. And let's give this a shot. Up where I arrow out. Print is, oh, Didn't see that coming. Okay, try it again. Click it, scroll through it. Okay, that was 16 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 4. There we go. So, debug. Stop debugging. So we got our deck set up. Get rid of that. Now we need to shuffle them. So let's create another sub. Oops. Okay. Now, originally what I was going to do is I was going to take this deck and make another array of 52 elements and go to the first element in the deck, randomly pick a number between 1 and 52 and put it in the second deck, and just go on down the line. And if the number randomly picked was it full already, it would find another random number. But I went online and I looked at a lot of different ways to shuffle decks, and there was a nice one there I liked, so we're gonna do that. Okay, basically the way it works is it takes, well, here, let me just type it in. First we need a couple of variables. Okay, we're gonna get a random number now. Oops. I need my little chip. Okay, we got two temporary numbers. They're going to be integer. We got a random number. And now we're going to go through the deck. Equals, our deck is 0 to 51. We're going to, n will be our new random number. Okay, now, see, pointers can be 0 to 51, and when it does the random.next, it's going to pick a number less than the number there. So when pointer is 52, it'll be 51 plus 1 will be 52. It'll pick a number less, it'll pick a whole number, an integer, less than 52. So that's fine. And basically, we're just going to take a temporary variable, and we're going to save the value of the deck. Okay, and then we're just going to swap them, and you have to have a variable to do it. So we temporarily take it out of the deck, and then the deck the random number, whoops, I'm sorry, the one that we just temporarily saved is going to be replaced by the random number out of the deck. Whoops. and then we're gonna put the number we took out back in. And you see, like I said, we started at 0. We randomly picked a number between with 0 and 1, which basically is going to swap itself. But we pointed that one in the deck. We save it in a temporary location. Then the number we pointed to, we're going to put it in that location, and then we're going to take our temporary number and put it into ones that we just. So, like I said, basically just swapping it. Now let's try this same thing. Um, all right, now we got to shuffle the deck. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that up here under the temporarily under the form load. And let's give it a run. And you can see it actually, remember, it started off this way, all the ones, and this is how it is shuffled. Then you can shuffle more than once if you choose to. And we'll run it again, and just to make sure, we'll run it again and see that it doesn't appear to be the same. See, any of the ones started, last time any one, this time it started in a 1. And the time before that, it started with a 9. So it does seem to be working. And it's a lot easier to write than the one I was going to write. So let me go ahead down there and give up our debug. Okay, now we can load up our initial deck with the correct number and types of balls. We can shuffle the deck, and the next thing we need to do is go ahead and do the initial table load, where we put the balls on the table. But we need to do some housekeeping first. So we need to go ahead and basically, let's start a new sub. But whenever we need to clear selection, so I'm going to call it clear selection. The clear selection is like if you end a game quickly, like you hit the time ran out and you're in the middle of selecting and you have to clear the selection. So it's simple enough to do. Basically, we're just clearing all the selections. And there are times we're going to need to clear the balls from the table. Basically, we're just getting rid of the ball numbers. And while we're at it, let's clear up here. But right now, the way it is, as soon as the program loads and the form load, it starts the game. And we really don't want it to do it. We want to wait till after the form is actually displayed. So in the form load event, go up here on the right and click, and we'll come down and find the form shown. And we'll just say start game there. And let's go ahead and remove it from the form load. Now we still want to load the deck. Well, we don't even want to shuffle the deck. We do want to load the deck. That everything we have up here is stuff that we're going to do one time only, like the initializing, like initializing the P table with all the locations, initializing the images, and initializing the original deck of cards unshuffled. So now let's see, load deck. Now let's create our sub to initial ball load. Initial table load. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we want to clear selections. We want to clear any balls that are left on the table. We want to go ahead and shuffle the deck. And let's just shuffle it twice just for fun. And now we want to load the table array with the balls, but we want to do it one at a time. So we'll still put it in a loop for I equals 1 to 22 P table dot ball num is going to be equal to our shuffled deck. Now the deck starts at 0, so we need to subtract 1. Like I said, we want to do this one at a time. So once we load one ball, we want to go ahead and draw the game. And well, let's just go ahead and run up. We got to put the initial table load in there, and that should be under the start round. And we want it down here where was it go? Well, we set the P table. Where was it? There it is. We want to get rid of these. And I missed one. Okay. Let's go ahead and run. Nothing happened. What did I miss here? Oh, start round. It's already start round. What am I doing here? Initial table load. Alright, still doing something wrong. I picked the wrong thing. Get rid of this. Shown. Start game. Now let's try it. There we go. But see, we didn't see the balls come out. Now we'll run it again. It'll be a different group of balls. But that's because we need to refresh it. After we say draw game, basically it's not going to draw it until it has time to do it. So we say me.refresh, it should be able to do it. There we go. Actually, instead of putting the me refresh down here, let's remove it and let's put it up here in the draw game procedure. That way, every time it does graphics, it will refresh itself. Okay, let's give this a shot. Okay, you notice there's no rack ball yet. I haven't told it to do the rack ball. Let's do it one more time and see. And normally there won't be that delay pulling the game up, because you would be pulling the game up ahead of time before you're actually starting the game. So anyway, getting back to the rack, let's go up here and let's rack pointer as integer. And when we go down here to the initial ball load, our table load, okay, the rack pointer, oops, will be equal to 23. Well, actually 22. 0 through 21 are in the table, and 22 will be the next ball, which is the rack ball. So and so p table dot 0 dot ball num equal deck rack pointer. And we need to go ahead and draw the game. Let's give that a shot now. There we go. One more time. Okay, and the rack pointer, it'll be a pointer into the rack as we use balls and put them on the table, or actually use them in a combination to make 11. The rack pointer will change. Now if you rotate through the rack, we will just rotate the rest of the deck. The rack pointer will stay where it's at. We'll just rotate the balls actually in the deck array from the rack pointer all the way up to 51. Okay, when we come back, we will create little boxes for the balls. That way we can start selecting them. And until then,